Hello booktube! Welcome to my second reading vlog. Okay, so it is Sunday, February 8th. The church bulletin will tell me. It's February 8th. So I will be reading probably just one book this week. More than likely. I am going to be reading The Lady's Mine by Francine Rivers, and I'll be reading it on my Kindle because I got it through Libby and had it sent to my Kindle. So that's what this reading vlog will include, is my thoughts as I read it. And this is for Oshina's Francine Rivers Read Along, Francine Rivers Book Club this year. If you're not a part of it and you want to be a part of it, I would highly suggest it. We had our first live discussion last Sunday, a week ago, and it was really cool, really fun. I've never been a part of something like that, like, at all. I've never been to like an in-person book club, so it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to start this new book in this new month of Francine Rivers. So this weekend, my project has been setting up this room. So we bought this house in July of 2025, and we are slowly but surely like setting up all of the rooms the way we want them. And this room is kind of like a multi-purpose area. So let me show you what we got going on. Here is a built-in. So this is an old house. It was built in 1923. And this like built-in cabinet thing came already here. I don't know if it was original or if it was put in later, but I love it. I think it's really cool and unique. So there's a little desk area, and we've got all of our stuff up there. I've recently started coloring, and those are my masterpieces for this week. Let's see. And then we have this piece of junk bookcase that we bought from Walmart, and we're taking it back because it sucks. But we have our instruments and our bookshelf for right now. There's my Bible and some really, really, really old books that my husband has. And Bibles, Francine Rivers. There's all of my books and Minnie and Mickey. Hello. And all of my husband's books. Well, these are not all of his books. A lot of his books are at his office at the church. But I really love this bookshelf. It was his dad's bookshelf when he was a child, so yeah. And then the people that lived here before us left this electric fireplace, so I guess we'll plug it up and use it. There's some of my husband's interesting signs and whatnots. And I need to get some sticker residue off of some books that I bought yesterday, so that's what that's for. Yeah, this is our like office slash music room slash library slash whatever. So yeah. It is Tuesday, February 10th, and I have not done a very good job with this vlog this week. I'm making homemade hamburger helper with chickpea penne pasta from Aldi. I like this because it's protein rich and fiber rich, and I don't have to worry about my husband eating his vegetables because he's eating the pasta. He only likes a certain few vegetables, so I have to make sure he gets his fiber. But yeah, I'm about to make dinner, and I have read 70 pages of The Lady's Mind so far. It's been slow. I haven't done good this week at all. But I do have some thoughts already, and I will be back after dinner. Okay, I'm about 25% of the way through. I'm almost 100 pages in. It's been hard to get to this point. I really like Catherine, the female main character, but I'm not sure about Matthias. I think that's how you say it. I'm assuming he's the main male character, probably the love interest later on. I don't know. I don't like him. Maybe he'll get better. He's kind of a jerk. And I haven't really seen any, real reason for him to be this much of a jerk to her, so we'll see. Those are my thoughts for now. Alright, it is Wednesday, middle of the week. Here we go. And I'm on my way to work. And I thought I'd just chat for a bit while I drive in. I don't have a setup in my car for filming, so this isn't the greatest angle, but here we are. Real talk for a second. The last vlog I did, I talked about my husband and I's journey through infertility, or whatever you want to call it. And if you've never been through it, or you don't know someone who's been through it, a lot of people in the community consider a form of grief, and it very much is. And you have really good days and weeks, and then you have bad days and weeks, and this has been a not so great week for me. At the end of last year, we attempted our first medicated cycle, and it failed. And that was very hard on me, and my mental health went into the trash, very badly. And that is where I rekindled my love for reading. I know that God put the opportunity in front of me, and I'm glad that I took it. It's also where I found booktube, and I found a lot of comfort in those things, and I'm very grateful for that, because I don't know that I would be enjoying my life right now if it weren't for that. But now that I'm on the other side of that particularly hard time, and I'm still in the booktube community, and I've started my own channel, I just can't say enough thank yous to the people in this community who've been doing it longer than I've been doing it. Specifically Amanda and Alma. They share not only fiction, but they also share Christian nonfiction and Bible studies and prayer books and all of those things. In the last few weeks, it's really inspired me, convicted me, motivated me to get back to a regular Bible study. And I'm just really thankful because this week has been rough, and I have something more to lean on because I have started reading scripture regularly again. I had been out of the habit for quite a while, and it's really, I mean, I notice a difference in myself when I'm reading versus when I'm not. So I just wanted to thank those two ladies specifically, but really the whole booktube community, the Christian booktube community specifically. It's really cool to like be a part of this now, and I feel like I have friends in the community, and we build each other up, and we encourage each other, and we help each other be better Christians and better women, and I just love it. So I just wanted to say thank you because it's been on my mind this week. So I also wanted to talk about the ladies' mind. So I have finally gotten far enough into the book where I'm like, okay, I think this is gonna be good. Like, the problem I was having was with Matthias, who's the male main. He was just a jerk, and I didn't understand why he was such a jerk. But then, as soon as I filmed that little clip last night, I realized why. Like, it gave his perspective on things and like why he is the way that he is, and it makes a lot of sense. So sorry for judging you too swiftly. Had a little technical difficulty there. I also really like Catherine. She's the female main, and she reminds me in some ways a lot of Emma from Jane Austen's Emma. She grew up kind of privileged and is learning about the world through experience rather than, I don't know how else to describe it. She's thrust into the world in a very real way, and she's having to learn, like, oh, what I think about the world and my point of view isn't necessarily true, and not everyone is a good person. So I enjoy that. Catherine is already a very self-aware character, so I like that. And I think I'm gonna like this book. It's nowhere near as heavy as Bridge to Haven was. I mean, it's talking about like women's suffrage and unfair work conditions and corruption and all of that stuff, but it's nowhere near as heavy as Bridge to Haven. So I think it's the perfect pick for this month, and I'm excited to read the rest of it. So, see you later. It is Thursday, February 12th, I think. And my mom and I and my little nephew went to Ollie's. Again, this is my second time going to Ollie's this week. Because she wanted to find my nephew Valentine's Day presents. Sorry, there's a stink bug on my wall right there. I just noticed that. Sorry. She wanted to get my nephew his Valentine's Day gift. So she bought him some books for Valentine's Day. And of course, I was there, and I had to look at the books, and I found the most beautiful Anne of Green Gables collection for $20. This is a box set, so it's got the plastic wrap and everything on it. And I think that's all of the Anne of Green Gables books, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. I'm so excited. They're so beautiful. I haven't looked at the covers yet, but I need to open it up. I'll show y'all. I'm so excited about this. And then I also bought a ring light for further content creation. $4. It's heart-shaped, I know, but hey, we balling on a budget, so we'll see. Okay, so I wanted to update you guys on my thoughts on The Lady's Mind so far. I am 55% done, and I just got, I haven't read any today, but last night I was reading, and there is this one scene where Catherine is under the influence of alcohol unknowingly, and Matthias is talking to her, and it felt very lusty. I mean, it wasn't bad considering the day and age we live in, but it was very much about like his feelings and his desires and how he burned and all of this stuff, and it's just like, I don't know about that. I do like the story so far. It's very compelling. Like the plight, that's the word, of all of these people in this little mining town who have no one to stand up for them or defend them is very interesting, and I'm excited to see what happens in the last half of the book. I'm still gonna read it, like, even though that part made me a little uncomfortable, maybe we can just move past it. And it wasn't like it was like terrible, but yeah, not my favorite. Happy Saturday and happy Valentine's Day. I finally finished The Lady's Mind last night. I just binged it and got through the end of it, and it honestly wasn't that hard to get through the last 30% of it. So I just wanted to share my final thoughts about the book. I had to sleep on it a little bit. I finished it at like 10 o'clock last night, so I wasn't gonna come down here and write in my reading journal. I went to sleep. So anyways, that's fine. It's no big deal. Let's see. Content rating, I gave it a 2.5 out of 3. Now, for context, I gave Bridge to Haven a 2 out of 3 for content. So, like, 3 out of 3 would be it was squeaky clean. There was no content that I felt like was inappropriate, I don't know, or made me uncomfortable. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But 2.5 out of 3. Faith content, so 3 out of 3 would be like excellent faith content. I gave it a 2.5 out of 3. And then story enjoyment, I gave it a 3 out of 4. 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 3, I believe that equals 8. Not the greatest at mental math. So 8 out of 10 is pretty good. Let me talk about the things I didn't like first, and then I'll talk about the things that I like, because I always want to end on a positive, because there is a lot of positives about this book. There's really one main thing I didn't like in this book. I didn't like any of the male characters, except for like 1 or 2 of the side characters. I did not like the male main character. I did not like Matthias. until like the last, I don't know, like 20% of the book. Like, he was very pushy, wanted Catherine to do exactly what he says, and he justified it in his mind that he was trying to protect her. Okay, maybe you were, but you went about it the wrong way. He also like grabs her and kisses her 1 or 2 times throughout the book. I probably would have slapped him across the face, honestly, but that's just me. It was probably such a strong reaction because I really liked Catherine. I liked her spunk. I liked her personality. And I guess I was just like defensive over Catherine. I don't know if that's what it was or not, but me and Matthias weren't getting along. But I will say, it's probably an accurate depiction of the men in that time and in the Wild Wild West. Like, that's probably how they behaved. Not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying that's probably historically accurate. I also thought some of the scenes where Matthias and Catherine were alone, particularly in the first 60% of the book, they got a little bit lustful for me. I don't know how to describe it, but I mentioned this earlier in the vlog. It wasn't anything that made me like put the book down and say, I'm not reading the rest of this. It was just a little like, this makes me uncomfortable. But then I have to think maybe that's the point, right? Maybe that's the point. Maybe Francine Rivers did that on purpose. Like, there were things in Bridge to Haven that we read in January that made me a little bit uncomfortable. But after you read the whole book and you look back on it, you think, well, maybe there was a reason for that. Yeah, that was my main issues with the book. The other issue that I had with the book is that Bandit, I can speak English, the dog should have been introduced way earlier in the book because he was so cute. I love Bandit. That's not really a real issue. That's just, I just love dogs. And whenever they're in books, I'm just like, yes. I think that's my favorite character. I'm just kidding. Let's see. I guess we'll go on to the positives now. On the same note, as I was saying, like, Matthias got on my nerves and I didn't really like him. He did have a decent, like, arc. He developed over the course of the story and he grew into a respectable man. He always had redeeming qualities, but he just needed a little nudge in the right direction. And I guess we can thank Catherine for that because he did. He got there. He got there. I loved his nickname for Catherine. He called her Your Ladyship like she was royalty. I thought that was funny. Let's see. I already said I enjoyed Catherine. Her personality, her just undeterrable just gumption to help people who needed help was great. Very inspiring to me. The themes that the book discussed very much were about like working conditions and how wealth can make people do things to other human beings that they probably wouldn't necessarily do otherwise, and unfair work conditions and all of these things, poverty, prostitution, because women a lot of the times when left with no other option, they still do that today. It's not just a 1800s California gold rush topic, but it was very prevalent then. So Catherine had a heart for those people, and I think that's inspiring to me, to see the needs of other people and try to meet them. However, your God-given skills can accomplish that. She also wasn't going to back down from what she wanted, so I was like, you go, girl. Like, you write that newspaper. You do that. You know. I was like, yeah, go, girl. Because it's not like she was wanting to do anything crazy. She's like, I need to be a good person, and I need y'all to do right by these people. Yeah, she was just great. I loved her. The side characters in the story were good. I enjoyed all of the side characters you were supposed to enjoy, and I didn't enjoy all the side characters you weren't supposed to enjoy. So she did her job as an author, making me not like certain people. The last thing that I enjoyed was the mystery elements. There was kind of like an unsolved mystery going on from the start of the book. So I enjoyed that, and it did end up all tying up at the end, and you find out what happened and everything. And then there were a couple twists towards the end of the book. I did not see them coming. Normally I'm pretty good at seeing, oh, this is going to do this and that. I didn't see them coming. I was probably focused on how much I didn't like Matthias. But I didn't see them coming. So it was enjoyable to have like some twists that I didn't expect. So overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I read it, and I'm glad that I pushed through some of the things that were not jiving with me, if you will. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's a good read. It's probably one of the lighter Francine Rivers books as far as content goes. And if for nothing else, read it for Catherine and Bandit. Yeah, they're great. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone under 18. Like, it's definitely an adult novel. But other than that, yeah. So I'm going to end the vlog here, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!